On today's Toy Spot, we're going to be looking at the very new Hasbro Marvel Universe scale Spider-Man figures. As you can see, we're going to be looking today at Venom. This is from the very first wave of these newly released figures, and I happened to come across them in Walmart, and I immediately grabbed the Venom. The Venom was a no-brainer for me. I had to pick him up. But they seem to have the entire wave except for the original Spider-Man. As you can see, on the front it says 3 Fiercest Foes Battle Cards. So it's possible that they're probably doing very similar to the Marvel Legends Showdown series back in the day. And of course the scale and the sculpt is just a slight bit different. This is Toxic Blast Venom. And on the back of the packaging, it's got a nice picture of Venom actually. It says, with suits for any mission, Spider-Man is ready to battle his fiercest foes no matter where they hide. And then they've got the same thing in French and also in Spanish. So this looks to be an international packaging. Much nicer actually than having French and English packaged figures in Canada, and then US, English, and Spanish packaged figures there. At least this way, the card stays consistent with every country that carries it, or at least the North American stores. It says, pull back and release to launch web missile. Actually, there's a considerable amount of little blips of text all over this packaging here. It says, help Spider-Man battle his fiercest foes. Collect all 72 cards, subject to availability. And then the other figures in this first wave, aside from the Venom, is interlocking web tech accessories. Come with most figures. Actually, you know what? They don't even say the other figures in this wave. But the other figures in this wave, despite the fact it does look like a horrible armored Spider-Man, this is the original black costume Spider-Man, and then they just had accessories on him that you can snap on. There's the Green Goblin. There's the original Spider-Man with a web backpack, and then there is a scuba Spider-Man. Oh, I don't know. In fact, no, this isn't the one I saw in the store. The ones I saw in the store, aside from this Venom, were the black costume Spider-Man, the Green Goblin, and I didn't see the scuba Spider-Man, but I saw a Spider Sense Spider-Man, which actually had the same mold. It appears to have the same mold as this Spider-Man, although it had a little switch, and you could press the switch on his chest, and his eyes would light up orange. I passed on that. I passed really on the Green Goblin. Somehow just the paint didn't work for me on the figure. I would have picked up the original Spider-Man had they had it in stock, but ultimately I just ended up picking up the Venom. Depending on how well I like these figures, I might probably try to look for the other ones in store as well. But I've rambled on long enough. Let's get this guy out of the package. We'll get a better look at Venom, so stay tuned, guys. Alright, Venom is now out of his package. Before we actually look at the figure itself, let's look at the instructions. Actually, before we look at the instructions, we'll look at the cards that these Spider-Man figures come with. It looks to me, first of all, that there's different pieces you can assemble, kind of like a puzzle piece, but on the other side, they've got the individual characters, Spider-Man and Venom. And then it looks like they've got a classic, almost a decoder card as well that reveals, I don't know if the camera's going to read that, but the fist, for example, has the spider web next to it. You put it over top of it, it shows 3. I'm trying to actually look through and see the instructions. It says Spider Sense Reveal a card, and then the Spider Sense Battle card, or Spider-Man Battle card, would be these ones here. Pick your card and choose your power. Don't let your opponent see. Both players count to 3 together, then place their cards so that the chosen powers are facing each other. If you both choose the same power, use the Spider Sense Revealer to show the hidden number. The highest number wins. Wow, I don't know. To me, this doesn't seem like something that's going to be sticking around. I really don't Marvel Legends Showdown, I really don't know why they did that either. They, instead of just releasing figures, they try to release these little battle card games, or these little game things on the side. The only downside to it is if the game doesn't stick around, or you've got some kids that pick them up thinking it's going to be something they can play with their friends, and no one else picks these up. We have so many of these things that get released, and they ultimately they never stick around. So put those cards aside. I don't know about the card thing, but looking further disappointment, let's have a look at the Venom here. And while I did think the Venom was going to be quite spectacular when I got him out of the package, oh, disappointment ensued. It's a nice looking sculpt of Venom, as you can see. He's got the tongue going on there. Really nice detailing on the face. He's got nice solid white eyes. He's got the white spider symbol. White spider symbol on the back. Very creepy looking spinal. You can see his spinal cord too, which is kind of neat. But I mean, this is my biggest disappointment with this figure, and I don't know if all the Spider-Man figures are going to be like this. For one thing, the size. The size seems a little smaller than Marvel Universe figures, and I wish I had a Marvel Universe figure with me. I could actually do a comparison for you guys, but it does actually seem smaller, and it might not actually be that much smaller. But the problem I have with this figure is the lack of articulation this figure comes with. He has a ball-jointed head, and so there's no problem there. You can get free range of movement. He has ball-jointed shoulders that you can move around, back and forth. He has the swivel bicep. Now you can bend at the elbow. So far it's like a Marvel Universe figure. The problem starts from about this point down. He has no articulation in his torso whatsoever. Nothing. The leg, he has a ball-jointed leg, so you can move his leg back and forth, in and out. But he has no knee articulation, none to speak of. And actually, in fact, it seems like his legs are shorter than what they should be. But I'm really surprised, actually, that they had no articulation in the knee. I don't know if their intent is to have these fit in with the Marvel Universe figures, but the fact that there is no knee articulation and no foot articulation, it's really strange that they would have left that out. Now, Venom's accessories, he has a couple. He has what appears to be a web axe, and you kind of have to get them fitted into his fingers for him to hold them. But he doesn't really hold it well. Let's try the other hand here. No, I mean, it doesn't really want to hold that very well at all. In fact, when I took him out of the package, this, if you want to call it an axe, or if you just want to call it webbing, it actually there was an elastic band that wrapped to his arm to keep this attached to him. I think the fact that I've taken the elastic off is probably the reason why this isn't staining at all. He does also have what carried over actually from some of the Spider-Man Classic figures. He's also got a gauntlet kind of web shooting, what do you want to call it? And the idea is you can clip it on his arm, you pull these missiles back, and you fire them off. I mean, it's not bad. I'm just really disappointed that there's no articulation in the knee and there's nothing in the foot. The foot I can really live without, but I mean, by now, at least knee articulation would be something you'd be throwing in. Aside from that, the figure is nice. It's nicely sculpted, and I mean, just to have it on display looks pretty decent. But I'm just disappointed that there's no knee articulation. The figure itself, I'd give probably about a 4 or a 5. And while the sculpt is decent, the paint's pretty good. I'm just really disappointed that there's no knee articulation. So will I be picking up more of these? I really honestly don't know. Maybe I'll pick up the Green Goblin or the original Spider-Man if I see it. But in the meantime, that was a toy spot on the new Spider-Man 3.5 inch, 3.25 inch size figures. And I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.